If folks that can't hear me out there, we'll see. It could be one of those things where the video will come out nice, but the stream may not be working. So we're gonna let some folks get in here a little bit, and then we'll get started. Morning flows with your man, SPA double N, doing it again. It's hard to do this, man. Waking up. What is it like to join a freestyle in process? Great question. One, two, yeah, one, two, All right, folks are coming in. Hey, let me know. Let me know who you are. See it coming through. And let me know if you can hear. If you can hear me. Can y'all hear me? I'm testing up a new setup today. Got more of my toys hooked up. Loopers and whatnot. So if y'all there, let me know. Let me see in the chat. Let me see you in the chat one time. In the chat 2 times. Dropping these rhymes. In the morning sunshine. It's kind of gray over here though. It feels good. I don't know if it feels good just because I have coffee, or if it feels good because I love doing this. I think it's a both scenario. Alright. Give it a little more time. I hope y'all can hear me. And we're going to get into today's topic a little bit. I'll give it about a couple more minutes. 5 minutes, I'll begin. But anyway, I'm playing around, doing it with the freestyle. And I'm really trying to see if this is working, so if y'all can hear me or not. Can you hear me? Is the sound coming through? One, two, Raise the mic a little more. All right, I can do that. How's that? Is that better? Is that better? Check, check. Let's see if I take that off. Let's try this too. How about now? Can you hear me better this way? Oh, we have some skipped frames. Oh, that's better? Alright. Might be trying to do too much over here. Skipping frames. Okay. Let me stop the loop for a second. Alright. Excellent. Alright, welcome y'all. This is my second Morning May Flow live stream, and I've been looking forward to it. I was trying to figure out a way to go Tuesday, but it just doesn't work with the family's schedule and whatnot. So um, I'm glad to be here today. Glad to be here with you. And I want to talk about probably my, I don't know, it's not really a secret because anybody who, has me as a teacher or who will listen to me long enough, I will show them this tool that I use. But it's like my number one go to tool to be able to uh, freestyle and flow forever. And it's like my number one way of getting past writer's block and my number one way of really elevating the lyrical content of my verses. And I guess I won't say lyrical content, I'll say lyricism of my verses. Ah, man. I think I'm skipping a lot. Let's see. Looks like I'm a little choppy. Is my video a little choppy out there? Let me know if you can. Appreciate that. And let's see if we can open my settings and let's see here. So losing frames, losing frames. All right. We're gonna go with it, I guess. Just try to definitely do that. We'll keep recording. The stream stops. Streaming. Alright, I think we're as good as I know how. I'm gonna get better at this stuff, y'all. Alright, so my number one tool for being able to flow forever, and essentially it's how I practice it. And funny enough, I created this thing uh, out of a necessity when I started rapping. So I'll make the story relatively quick here. It was back in my college days, graduated, class of 2004, might be 2003, and I'm just getting really into freestyling now. So much so that I drive everywhere and I'm looking and I'm seeing road signs and I'm just, I had a lot of styles, a lot of freestyles about cars because every time I would like see a license plate or see a brand of car, I'm just gonna freestyle about it. If I see a billboard, I'm gonna freestyle about it. So I was freestyling all the time, and it becomes problematic to freestyle all the time, especially like back in 2004 because um, I mean even to this day like freestyling a cappella with no context, like people don't if they don't know what's going on, they're like, hey, why are you yelling at me? And so it's kind of a weird scenario to be like in the middle of Starbucks and you want to freestyle and you just start going and then all the people look at you funny. So I needed a way to be able to practice um, my freestyling without actually having to freestyle. Now, writing verses, of course, is a way of doing this, but if you're literally writing um, every single bar, that is going to it takes a long time to write verses, and then you're really just writing verses, but not practicing what you're actually doing when you freestyle. So what I noticed was that in moments of freestyling, I was just paying attention to my thinking, and I was not thinking about every single word that I was saying when I was freestyling. I was really just thinking about like, okay, what's the next rhyming word or what's the next idea, and then once I have that next idea, I would put a sentence to it, a little phrase to it. And so it's like, okay, well, if I could just practice the idea generation part, always being able to come up with the next idea, then that's a more efficient way to practice. And I could actually do this through writing. So that's when I came up with the concept. Then I called it flow mapping. It's based off the mind map principles, but it's a different approach. Uh, but now I call it flow webbing because when you kind of see the video, when you kind of see like what it looks like on paper, it's more accurate to like what it actually looks like. And I think a web is a better metaphor to make when we're thinking about the way our brains link ideas together, link words together, and being able to understand your web and how to do it, how it works, and then also how to like continuously generate that web of flow and ideas, then that gets you in a position when you're freestyling to be able to always have something to say next. But then lyrically, when you're writing, when you're actually putting pen to paper, it gets you in a position to be able to look at words on many different layers and many different layers of meaning, many different layers of rhyme, um, and then start integrating those layers as um, puzzle pieces that like create your verse. So then you have the ability to write as cryptic as you want, like to really be like, oh man, like I have to like get out of the source and dictionary to be able to decode what's being said in this verse, or if you can write as straightforward as you want, you'll have that range by using this tool. So it's my best tool, and I'm providing it to you for free. I Let me know, y'all, in the chat too. I'm getting this. Says skipped frames. It says 99%. And again, I'm new to OBS, but let me know like how the video's looking. Like, am I choppy? Is the sound coming through at least? Like, let me know how this is coming out over there for you. All right. Um, Lower the colder settings. So I want to get a quick feedback on that, and then I'm gonna play this video. I should talk about where this video came from. So this video came from the this is the whole series that's in the my premium content. So for the Ride Masters vault, so the stuff that I've made for um, the membership site last year, that's what I'm bringing to YouTube now. So I got a comment, and forgive me, I don't remember who made the comment. I'll find out. But I saw a comment to Monday's video about, hey, you know, where's a link to some of this content, to some of the Ryan Master stuff. So I thought it would be a good idea to at least like bring it into these morning streams for you, so you get to see it. I also get to break it down, and it's also cool for me to be able to see like how I taught it back in the past, and then be able to like add some new components to it as well. So I'm really excited to show this to you. I'm really hoping it's coming through. I'm hoping it's not super choppy over there where you are at. So again, any love in the comments to let me know if it's coming through. Said it's choppy, but the sound's coming through. Okay. All right. Well, hopefully the video will be a little bit clearer as far as that. Let me know too. Like as you're watching the video, post your comments. Sorry, post your questions in the chat. All right, post your questions in the chat, so that way I can kind of get an idea of like how this is landing. All right. Anything else I want to say about this? It's a written exercise, so you'll be once you learn it. I'm teaching a process. You'll be able to do it. Take your notebook with you, pen and pad, and you can do it all the time. The more you do it, the more you're training your brain. And other than that, I think let's get into it. And again, thank y'all for being here. Let's do it. And then again, give me feedback on the sound and everything as well. All right, here it is.
the longer you can do this, the more you're able to sustain the flow of ideas, which is good for your creativity. Some things to think about. Each word that you think of represents one idea. So sometimes you'll write.
All right, so apparently there was no audio, so we're going to run that back and try it again. So thanks for bearing with me, y'all. We'll figure it out. This is how learning works. This is how learning works. When you learn something new, this is where you start. So I am looking forward to the fast improvement in my ability to navigate this stream. All right, let's try it again. Here we go.
Welcome to the Flow Mapping Basics video. I am Desmond Span. You should know me by now. Dang it. Anyway, I just wanted to make this quick video to explain the basic process of flow mapping. So I hope you enjoy it.
Is there sound back now?
All right, to get started, make sure you have the basic materials. Just need a blank sheet of paper, and a pen is preferable to a pencil, but a pencil can work nonetheless. We prefer a pen because with a pen, you can erase things, and that helps you stay in the flow of creating ideas. Sometimes the temptation is too strong when you make a perceived mistake that you want to erase with a pencil. So, but if you have a pencil, it's fine. Pen is preferable. All right, to get started with this process, just write down 1, 2, 3 words. Okay. These words that you select, they can be based on a theme, or they can just be the first 3 words that you think of. When you write these words down, you want to make sure that they're spaced apart so there's enough room to add more ideas. And you also want to make sure that you're not writing them in a line or a column, because that tends to force people to think in categories versus just free associating and thinking creatively. And now that we have our 3 words written down to start, the next thing is just to free associate, which basically means that the first thing that a word makes you think of, go ahead and write that down. You write it down, you put a little dash mark, and then you write down that next word. And then you just kind of keep going with this process until you are, filling up the whole page or the time expires. In doing this, to start, you might set it to 1 minute with the goal of trying to get to 5 minutes. The longer you can do this, the more you're able to sustain the flow of ideas, which is good for your creativity. Some things to think about. Each word that you think of represents one idea. So sometimes a word will make you think of a phrase. Treat each word of that phrase as a single idea, because you can always come back to that word and go in a different direction with another idea than just what was stuck in that phrase. There are no mistakes in this process, so if you misspell something, don't erase it, don't scratch it out. Just if you need to make another idea and spell it right, then spell it right, or maybe ask yourself, what does this misspelling make me think of? The most important thing in all this is the flow. So your pencil must keep moving. You don't want to stop to think, to judge your ideas, to say if it's good or not, to debate it, or anything that's going to stop you from the single task of just generating the next idea until the time runs out. As you go through this, look for connections, possible connections with other words, as you are making more of a web of ideas in this process. Again, it should not be in lines, straight lines or columns. You're not creating categories based on the original 3 words. You are merely just treating each word as its own starting point and just asking yourself, what's the first thing it makes me think of? All right, now that you are done, I would like you to circle the ideas of interest to you. So what's interesting to you can just be anything that just gets an emotional reaction from you. So it could be it made you smile, it made you laugh, it made you sad, angry, anything that just warranted a little bit extra attention as you're going through the process. It's these ideas that we will attempt to try to use in creating poems. All right, in another video, I will show you the ways we generate ideas. so that as you practice flow mapping to practice your creativity, you'll have some other ways of generating the ideas in free association and understanding the relationships. Because by understanding the relationships, then you can use them to create stronger poetry, stronger lyrics. Also, I want to have a video that just talks about or explores a process of going from the flow map to your first draft and talk about how you might connect those ideas of interest to a poetry prompt or subject or anything that you might be tasked to write or create on. All right. So anyway, thank you for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. What?
Oh man. Okay. This is a steep learning curve. Whew. All right, let me get back to this. Okay. Man. All right. I'm not sure how much came through with that. Lordy. There's a lesson in this for sure. And yes, of course, the lesson is like learn how to do the streaming setup. But I think the other lesson is beginner's mind. Anyway, I won't go on this rant too much because I want to actually address, use like the last little bit of time that I have to address your questions. It will get better, I promise, as far as like me understanding like how to get my settings right so it doesn't send too much over. Any help that you can provide, any folks who do streaming who are have the capture card set up, because I got my old school camcorder there. That's where when I'm looking directly at you, I'm looking at the camera, and I got the capture card that came in yesterday, so that's cool. Says LOL. Love it if you record this for YouTube. Yeah, exactly. We'll come back to it again and we'll figure it out because it is the best tool. I will say this, and not to be, I'm not gonna like push it on you hard, but part of what I'm doing this too is just for this month of like trying to figure out the streaming thing. Yes, but I also want to provide this content to you in a way that allows the channel to grow and for me to sustain making new videos and new content. And so with YouTube memberships, that provides an opportunity for me to do that. So that video that was badly playing through the stream is clearly uploaded in the members section. So, and I think what I might do, just because this was such a, I mean, it's still pretty choppy, but I think people can hear me. So since it wasn't a high quality stream, I'm going to have that video, I'm going to make it public. So it's going to be for members and for people on the channel, at least for a little bit of time. Yeah, I had a video playing next. Yeah, like that I've made before. That's what was playing. So I'm going to make that video available because, obviously what just came through was, it didn't work that way, but the video version of it is there. So once I get done with this, go to the channel and then you'll see that lesson again, and you'll have the backstory, the context to understand what it means. And then tomorrow morning, after I figure out my settings and adjust this thing, we'll be back here and I can answer any questions about it. But definitely watch that video about, again, I call it flow webbing now, but back then I called it flow